Charles Clark, your real estate investment broker, here with another bright idea. Welcome to week 2 of Aspire's 90-day Accelerator program. I am here to go through the assignment and show you some more things in the Aspire Mastermind 90-day program, and to keep everything going, keep you moving towards getting that first or your second deal done. So thank you again for joining me. I am in the Next Home My Way studio, filming this for you guys. And so thank you and welcome again. This is just going to be a quick live video for those who are in the 90-day program and those who are wanting to follow. So today I'm going to just show you some of the things and go through the school and then go through the assignment as well. So here is the Aspire School program where you will be coming. As you can see, we have our community here where we have people communicating and going through the Aspire Mastermind and asking questions and engaging with the rest of the community. You'll come up here to the classroom and you have right here the 90-day Accelerator program. You'll click on it. Oops. Click on it, and I'm in week 2. So obviously, there's the video for the week 2 program. You will go through it, and this is just breaking down the lessons, the previous week, and what is going on this week as well. It explains whether the buy box, which this is mostly what this week is going over, is the buy box and why it matters. And then the 3 pillars of your buy box, right, is the geography, why you're investing, where you're investing, the property type and size, and your financials. What price point are you operating at? Lesson 3, key matrix, how you measure a deal, your return on investments, your cash flow, your cap rate, and comparative market analysis, your CMAs. And then lesson 4, deal structure and financing options, the big picture, right? How are you going to get the deal done? Conventional loans, private, hard money, seller financing, all those good things, lease options. Lesson 5, refine, learn, and build, right? And we're always trying to keep moving forward. You always want to be learning from what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. All right, with that being said, let's move on to the actual assignment. So we're going to go to the workbook buy box. I'm going to click on that. I did kind of pre-filled out some of this work, so I'm just going to be going through it so you guys can see. I'll be typing in some of the stuff, and some of it I'll be copying and pasting in because there's a lot of information that I put in. So target geographic city, Milwaukee. I am going to put Milwaukee. I'm going to put southeastern Wisconsin because that's technically where I function at. And then I'll just put what that represents, which is Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha with surrounding areas. All right, so property types. Again, let me bring out my stuff. So typically what I look for in deals, I'm going to have my, single family for your fix and flips, your duplexes and your small multifamily. I do look for bigger deals. I would say anything under, right now I would say under 8 units, but I'm just going to put this. So I'm going to copy and paste this part. Unit count, 1 to 4 units. Keep it simple. Target price, I'm going to say between 100 and 300,000. I think those are good price points, especially for fix and flip type of deals. Prefer exit strategy, a BRRRR with long-term hold and refinancing to a DSCR financing. Absolutely. Absolutely, because to me, Burr is the bee's knees of real estate investing because it allows you to improve that asset and still keep it. Right, it's your fix and flip, and you get to keep it. And I feel like that's the best deal you can do. Obviously, fix and flip, you can gain some good um, profit from it, but that's where it actually turns into a job. So, because you got to keep doing fix and flips, right? Where if you do burrs, you get to keep that asset starts building cash flow for you, and that brings in the money. But then you also burr and you pull that force appreciation out of it. So now you have that asset currently, and now you can go get the next one. Minimum monthly cash flow. So I always tell people this is one of the most important things because this is what I call reverse engineering what you're trying to accomplish, right? Until you figure out your minimum monthly cash flow or things of that nature, you can't truly analyze a deal, right? Because if I analyze a duplex and it's making 400, right? The whole duplex is making 400. Is that a good deal? Well, I don't know until I give myself my minimum monthly cash flow. So in this situation, because I'm using $300, that duplex that's only making 400 total, that wouldn't be a deal for me. Now, it allows me to better analyze that deal now because now I can go and say, okay, why is it only making 400? Is there something I can do to make more? Is there a way for me to find $200 in this deal to make it a deal? Or I can just be like, moving on, don't need to worry about that anymore. Minimum ROI target. I am going to put between 10 to 15% annualized. And the reason why I say that is because, again, you got to take into consideration operating costs. Um, and I mean, not operating costs, but opportunity costs, right? If I can't get 10 to 15%, then I might as well invest in the stock market, right? Because stock market, you typically get 7 to 10%, or that's what normal. So I have to get something that's a little bit higher than that to make it worth investing in. What's the minimum cash on cash return? We're going to put 10%. So deal sources. Because I'm a licensed. Oh, wait a minute, I skipped one. What's the maximum renovation budget? Um, we're gonna say at least 50,000, unless there's some great upside. Deal sources. As me being a licensed real estate broker, I think all the best deals are on the MLS. I know that is not always the case, but because things that sit on the market, I can actually go to the seller and say, hey, we can actually try to get into a real negotiation where if it's off market, if they want that amount and they think that's the true amount, then they're just going to sit on it. I just feel like when things are on the MLS, you can actually negotiate with sellers because the market actually spoke, right? The market said that property is not worth that amount. And so I feel like you sometimes are able to have better negotiations with that. Preferred financing type. Conventional DSCR loan. I would say DSCR loans, hard money, but we are open to all of it to make sure that we can get the best deal possible. Some markets will not invest in. This is a general statement, but it's areas with persistent population declines, high crime, weak rental demand, or negative cash flow projections, right? So I'm not gonna I'm not one of those individuals that say I don't go into certain areas because I'm always looking for the deal, right? I might not personally live in an area, but who says I can't fix and flip something and make that neighborhood better, or buy in a neighborhood that I personally might not want to live in, but I know that I can improve that neighborhood and provide great housing and still get the cash flow that I'm looking for, right? So I never say I'm not investing in a certain area. I'm always saying I'm looking for the right deal. All right, pillar one, geography. Why did you choose this market? What do you know about rents, values, and demand there? Okay, well, I live here, right? But I gave a technical answer So I said I selected this market because it offers strong rental demand, affordability relative to replacement costs, diverse employment drivers, and opportunities for forced appreciation through renovation. The market supports both long-term cash flow and portfolio scaling. Right. So we just want to give framework, right? People just say I'm looking for 15%. Well, what does that mean, right? Why, or why you are investing in this area. Some people say I invest in, certain thresholds around a certain city or something like that, right? So like, why are you doing that? What shows that besides your perception of it, right? You want to have meaning behind why you're picking some of these places, because eventually you're going to want to get to a point where you're raising funds from someone else and they want to understand why you're doing the things you're doing, right? And so this is again creating your philosophy of investments, right? This is going to be a one pager. By the time you have 30, 40, 50 units, it should be a philosophy, right? And so this is the beginning of that. What is your competitive advantage in the market? Well, I'm a licensed real estate broker. That definitely helps. But my answer was my competitive is approach advantage is approaching acquisition as an investor rather than a simple buyer. I leverage the Aspire framework to underwrite deals, maintain relationship with investor focused professionals, and evaluate opportunities based on systems, data instead of emotion. And I'm a licensed real estate broker, right? I'm in it. There's not a property that someone can keep me out of because my license allows me to go into any property that's on the market. And because I have my license, I can do as many deals as I possibly can. Some people eventually, if you do so many deals, you eventually have to go find a real estate broker or real estate agent for them to transaction that deal for you. I can do that and I can use it myself. So that allows me to create more opportunities because I can represent someone else. I can represent myself. And so getting your license was a big benefit for me. Okay. Property type and size. Why did you choose this property type and how does it align with your capital experience and 5 year vision? 1 to 4 unit provides accessibility, financing, manageable operational complexity, and strong scalability. They fit a strategy of building a repeatable acquisition system while preserving flexibility for financing and long term wealth. Right. 1 to 4 is an easier way to get financing. I know you can talk to some commercial individuals, and because commercial loans can be a little bit easier, it does take a little bit longer to close sometimes, unless you're using a DSCR loan. And I would say that is probably one of the best loans you can do, especially if you don't have to do too much fixing and it's just going based off the income that the property is bringing in. DSCR loans are the best. What property types are outside your buy box right now, and what would you need to change for them to enter it? Large multifamily, commercial properties, land development. I wouldn't say land development. I will take that back. Luxury homes and short-term rentals and outside are my current buy box. I would say short-term rentals because I don't really work in that world. I do have people on the Aspire team that does. So if I do come across that, that would probably be something where I partner with someone. Commercial properties, again, I wouldn't probably personally do that right now. I would say my threshold is probably a 20 unit and under. But we do have people on our team that can handle those type of transactions that I would lean on and I would be a partner with, right? I don't need to lead that deal, right? But I can be a part of it, um, you know, by doing different parts, is that analyzing it, going to it, and all those different things, right? I think that's a misconception in real estate, is that you're doing things on your own, and you have to lead it, right? You can be the limited partner on this deal while you're being the general partner on 3 other deals, right? That's how you keep building stuff and not necessarily being the main focus or the driver of those deals. Financials. How did you arrive at your price range? What capital and financing are you planning to use? The price range aligns with available financing products, target cash flow thresholds, renovation capacity, and projected equity creation. I plan to use conventional financing or DSCR loans and hard money, while recycling capital through refinancing strategies whenever possible. So I'm going to put that in there. All right. If a deal comes in that you love emotionally but doesn't meet your buy box criteria, what do you do? Write it as a rule, not a feeling. Rule: if the property fails any core buy box metric, including cash flow, return threshold, renovation limits, or exit viability, I will decline the opportunity regardless of excitement, urgency, or fear of missing out. Discipline takes precedence over emotion, right? We gotta write some of these things down, guys and girls. We got to give ourselves rules and boundaries that we got to live by, right? This is a business because at the end of the day, if you don't have these things down, you can never have anyone step in, right? You can't have someone assist you with building your business. It's going to be a continued entrepreneurship, and then you don't need anyone. You don't need to write none of this down because you're the only one working. I know I want to take vacations. I'm assuming you do too. All right, reflection. Describe the scenario where you'd be most tempted to break your buy box and what you tell yourself in that moment to build a discipline, right? This is um, um, Jordan Peterson. I kind of feel like this is where he asks you to write your goals where you want to be and the most, you're excited for moving forward. But then he also asks you, write the other side of that. What would it look like when you're not doing the things where you lose faith or whatever you so to speak, right? What will take you down the wrong path, right? So sometimes you have to write the thing you want to stay away from, and this is what this is trying to accomplish in this, right? So the greatest temptation to break my buy box will occur when I believe a property is too good to pass up because of location, appearance, or competition from other buyers. In that moment, I will remind myself I don't buy properties, I build a scalable real estate investment business. Every acquisition must strengthen the portfolio, not satisfy emotion. If it doesn't fit the buy box, I pass and wait for the next opportunity, right? I know there's going to be another opportunity, right? So those are the things you need to do to remind yourself that, hey, I don't have to take this deal, right? There's going to be other opportunities for me. There's always going to be another chance to build my real estate portfolio, right? I'm not, as I teach my clients, and as I try to share with everyone, I don't help you buy a property. I help you buy a business. It just so happens to be a property, right? And it can't be locked in on one deal or one goal, right? Because it's the culmination of all of these things, right? The This property I'm buying should fit the puzzle of the portfolio I'm trying to build, right? So I'm not just buying one property. And that's where I think people get caught up is that they're just trying to get the next deal. Well, the next deal has to coincide with what I'm trying to ultimately accomplish, right? Even if I'm not keeping that property as a fix and flip, it should still fit in I'm trying to accomplish overall from a business standpoint, right? Coca-Cola is not going to go buy a burger joint, right? That's outside of their realm, right? That's not what they want to be. Now they could change something else, but I'm assuming they always want to be in the junk food, soft, sodas, drinks, beverages, all those type of things, right? Chick-fil-A, right? They're not gonna go buy a taco place, right? You want to create those frameworks so that you can stay within your, quote unquote buy box, right? And I believe that is it. And then we will submit. So you will save this and submit it into, I'm going to download this right now so that I have it. Um, and then I am going to go back and then I will submit it in the community, right? We'll go to the community and then we will find the 90-day program and we will submit our assignment there. So there you have it. This week's assignment is filling out the buy box document. Now that you've gone through that, now we'll be taking the next steps into your journey on getting that first deal or next deal. Thank you for joining me. I am Charles Clark, your real estate investment broker, here with another bright idea with the 90-day accelerator program.